types of correlation. So we can have perfect positive, perfect negative, strong positive, strong negative, weak, and no correlation. Perfect positive correlation, if you drew a line through the points, every point would be exactly on a perfect line. And the R value for perfect positive would be R equals positive 1. The slope of this one is positive. It's going up from left to right. So it's positive 1. That's the strongest correlation you can have. It's perfect. And the strength, looking at the graph, just indicates how close those points are to forming a line. So you'll notice as the correlation gets weaker, the points kind of get further away from a line if you were to draw a line. So we can kind of put where we think the trend line would be on these, kind of through the middle. And the weaker the correlation, the further these points are away from the line. If we drew lines from the points to the trend line, they're further away. They have a greater distance. For perfect negative, all these points are on a straight line, but the slope is going down. So that makes it negative. But because they're on a straight line, the value would be 1. So this is R equals negative 1 for a perfect negative. Now you don't see that too often when we're talking about correlation. Usually you'll see strong or weak. Now strong, they're very close to forming a perfectly straight line. They're not that far apart, but it's not perfect. A strong positive would have an R value between, now some people might define this different ways, but I like to say between about 0.5 and 1. So if it's above 0.5, I would call that a strong positive. Now for strong negative, it's, the points, it's strong because the points are close to forming a line. The slope is negative because it goes down. When that happens, R is between negative 1 and negative 0.5. So negative 0.6, that would be between these numbers. So negative 0.6 would be strong negative. Now for weak positive, it's got to be less than 0.5, but it can't be below 0. So R for a weak positive correlation would be between 0 and 0.5. For weak negative, same thing, it's just negative, so R is between negative 0.5 and 0. So negative 0.3, that would be weak negative. Positive 0.2, that would be weak positive. All right, and no correlation. So if we tried to draw a line, we can't really draw a positive line anywhere that really fits the data, or negative. If you tried to draw a line, it would have to be a straight line, which would have 0 slope. So if they're totally randomly scattered, you can't tell if it's positive or negative, we say there's no correlation and R equals 0. Thanks for watching.